You see, because I couldn't help myself, I got into, I started to write again during the time off. I was messing around with AI a lot to work out the framework or the first draft of a novel idea that I had. And so I got through the first draft a couple months ago, right, with AI, but it's very bad. It's very bad. Like, I'm gonna have to redo the entire thing, to the point where over the last week I was like, I'm just gonna write this. Like, I'm just gonna like break all of this down. I had AI summarize every chapter, breaking it all down to the pieces, because all the pieces were still mine. I fed all of that into the AI for the AI to give me what it gave me, but it's just terrible writing. And I was like, Suzanne Collins inspired me to kind of go, man, I just need to read YA authors. I enjoyed what Suzanne Collins did to make things clip along, but there were parts where I'm like, it's going too fast, you know? And I didn't like that part, because I still do like descriptions in things. I like to feel like the setting as well. And not that I didn't feel that with the Hunger Games, but there was just something missing. It didn't fit my style, you know? And I really wanted to explore my style. And how do you do that? I mean, recommend this to anybody who wants to write, is you have to read more. And that's what I've been doing. What's the author that keeps coming up in terms of someone who's like blowing up on the scene and like really making a mark on the way that they write and the way that they write character first narratives, that they do have like a lighter language around the way that they tell their story? Well, I ended up cracking into Mistborn, and in one sitting session I read 84 pages of Mistborn. I got to the scene in here where it's like the Ocean's 11 scene, you know, where they're all in the that kind of hideout, and they're introducing all of the characters that are going to be part of the heist. And man, that was exciting. It was super exciting. It's very dense. It's very dense. The book itself is over 600 pages, but I mean, the words on the page stretch right to the, like, there's barely any gutters on these damn pages, and I felt like I was taking forever to get through these books, but at the same time, in one session, I got to chapter 5, right? So that's crazy. So Mistborn, not planned, but I wanted to kind of experience the Brandon Sanderson writing style to see what it was that I was maybe like chasing to some degree. I want to feel inspired and influenced by other storytellers that write in a way that might be compelling to me to investigate and learn more about, because I feel like rewriting the entire draft of my book, like from ground up. Like, honestly, because AI sucks. I mean, it's great for breaking things down, brainstorming, again, clearing that blank page. The tool is amazing when used in that regard, but it's just not good enough to actually tell stories. Like, if you want to be a storyteller and you want to write like a storyteller, you better be writing your story like as a human being, not as the AI won't do it for you, because it doesn't understand nuance. It either doesn't really use show don't tell, but then when it does, because you ask it to, it overshows, and instead of telling, and then it's just like, this doesn't feel like a natural read to me, because I've effectively read like the entire book that I've been reading as the AI generates, and then I have to tweak it, then I have to go back and forth, and like I might take like 6 hours on 1,000 words, right? That's crazy, right? If you just wrote that, you probably would have written it in less time, but then you'd have more errors, right? So there's a kind of a give and take that I'm playing around with, but in that exploration, I do feel like I want to be inspired by people who are pulling this off, and then maybe I start just writing, like just writing, and I'll use AI for like world building, Bibles, like stuff like that, like to keep my ideas organized. I can use AI to summarize the chapters that are written as I did, and they just turn into bullet points on a page, things that stand out, character arcs and stuff like that, and it helps me organize what the through lines are for all the beats that I want to retain. Pretty much given up on AI as not as a writing tool, but yeah, you can't lean on that too heavily as it's not gonna write stories, is what I'm saying. That's it. It'll be the 5th draft at this point, but really the first draft. I want to get a first draft of my story idea out the door, and I started working on a web serial idea that is seeded from an idea from 20 years ago. I found an idea. How many times do I want to say idea? I found this. I had a brainstorm document from the early 2000s. Early Google Docs is one of my first documents I ever created, and it's just like bang, 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 idea after idea. That I'd read things, I'd get ideas, I'd play tabletop, and as I was a GM for the most of the time, I'd get an idea. Something happens at the table and it's with a cool NPC, but the NPC, like, that idea becomes a cool idea. How many times do I want to say idea? And so I kind of lost track of that document. I moved on, right? And then 15 years passed, and I was cleaning up the Google Docs. I was organizing some stuff, and I was like, God, remember this thing? And I opened it up, and it was like pages and pages of ideas. And I was like, there's probably 100 ideas in here. I'm still saying the word ideas, huh? And so I was like, what if I take this one? Because I got art made of the characters at one point. I got concept art that I thought I was going to make this into a like a web comic. And so I was working with an artist to like work all that out. And that didn't pan out because I ended up working on a different comic book series that I ended up releasing called Raven Nevermore. But this was one of these ideas that I was like, man, this would be cool to like do as a web serial out there, that I do a couple hundred words just as practice, just kind of get things going and get to writing again. I used to do flash fiction a lot, again, like 10 years ago, do flash fiction challenges, and that sort of stopped. And I miss writing, I miss reading, and I miss writing. And so this is where I'm at right now, where I feel like I want to rewrite the entire first draft. I would rewrite the entire, like pretty much ground up. I want to write the book that I had started conceptualizing, and I effectively wireframed it, I suppose, scaffolded it, and then I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna see how far that takes me. And then the second idea is for the web serial. When I get enough written and I feel confident about the start, I'll start releasing those chapters online. Because The Wandering Inn sort of inspired me. I was like, I could probably write like that. Pirate, what's her name? Pirate Ava writes a lot. I mean, I don't think I can write that fast. There's no way. I do have a full-time job, and if I still want to do videos for YouTube, no, no, that's too much. But I could probably pull something off, like 2 updates a week or something like that, 3 updates a week, and maybe not like 2,000 words, like Pirate Ava. What is it, like 1,000 or 2,000 words a day is what was getting outputted there, or something like that, something crazy like that. Yeah, it's inspiration all over the place. Reading, imagine that, right? Makes me want to write. Yeah, that was the stack for 15 days, because you got to fill in, you got to fuel up the imagination, and then it'll come out. There's another idea I had for like this epic, and it was like in this 4-person POV thing, and this was like, again, a test I was starting with AI, but it wasn't working out. And it's one of these scenarios where I could probably just do this myself, and it would take longer. Sure, it'll take longer, but there's just like I don't want to compromise my potential writer's voice, because I've written in the past. I have writing out there, and there's a bit of a spirit that I don't want to lose in the writing. There's like writing with AI if you just want like stories out there and they're not amazing, but at least they're stories. Yeah, I think there's a place for boring staticky kind of stories that have AI-isms all over the place. They're really easy to catch. I should probably do like AI story reviews on here when I find them. Like, I just tear them apart. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. Not out of malice. It's just like, I just want to make writers feel confident that AI is not a threat, and they're never good. No, there'll always be writers. There'll always be people publishing their own books and getting publisher deals and stuff like that. It's never going to go away. And that AI is not you're not supposed to be intimidated by it. It's just a tool out there. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.